Hey everyone, I'm glad you came over. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for putting your time today into me. And yeah, this is gonna be a story time vid. Like I just finally started to get into these kind of videos a little bit more again. And yeah, I really just wanted you to get to know me more, just be really vulnerable and be very just real and authentic here. Like this story really hits close to home about just being a lone wolf, like being an outcast, not fitting in like the rest of the kids in my grade, and just in general, and kind of how I dealt with it, and kind of stories of how I pushed through, how I break through, and how I found people like me, and I found out I'm not this much of an outcast like I first thought I was. So stay tuned if you want to know more. Growing up, I was not your typical kid. I was very spiritual, I was very passionate, poetic, soft spoken, and driven. And I just felt like who I was as a person, I didn't fit in like a glove like everyone else at my school. And I tried so hard to fit in with the people, be something that I'm not, and just be a different person so that I could feel like I could be accepted. For a long time, my parents told me, just, find a group of people, be friends with them, even if you don't agree with them. But I always thought to myself, like, I'd rather get bullied than to be something I'm not and fit in with a group that doesn't define me, a group of fakers, liars, gossipers. And it was hard. It was really hard to deal with this on a day-to-day basis. It was hard to every day just feel like I was a nobody, feel like I was so different. And I succumbed to being a different person to make people happy. I succumbed to, being like any clique that I could find. I tried the boys. I didn't fit in with them because I was very sensitive, passionate, and poetic. Like I said, you don't find that in many boys my age. And then I tried to fit in with the girls, and that didn't work because they were very social and upbeat. Some of them even gossiped, and I was never a gossip kind of person. And I tried both, and I was like, where does that leave me now? And the next thing you know, like, I was trying to think of a plan in my head. Like, I was trying to think, like, how can I fit in like a glove like the rest of these people? Like, what do I do? Like, what do they do that I'm not doing? Am I not talkative enough? Am I not cool enough? Am I not, this enough? And I started changing who I am. I started shutting down my emotions. I started not being eccentric and weird like I often am. And I just tried so hard to be like everyone else. I saw what they did and I emanated that. I copied that. Even though my outside felt great, my insides felt wretched and terrible and awful. And this story time that I'm just telling today really hits home because we had an assignment to do in English called Soundtrack of Your Life. And we had to find 4 pivotal moments that kind of encapsulate 4 different songs that really click. It's not about the lyrics, it's not about the beat, it's about the words. Like, how do they click with you? And if you want to stay for a little bit, I'm gonna actually read my soundtrack of my life, and I hope you like. The first song was Hero by Super Chick. I thought growing up life was easy, but I, like everybody else, had my fair share of struggle. Everyone my age seemed like they had it all together, fitting into a group like a glove. I was the boy, and everyone said that no one sits with him, he doesn't fit in. And we had to like put certain lyrics in the song that could be put here, and that was one of the lyrics. No one sits with him, he doesn't fit in. I loaded that word greatly, fit in. Everyone said that just meant be normal. But what is normal? I always was different and yearned so badly to embrace it and possibly find others like me. Despite my eccentricity, my spirit stayed strong. Maybe being different was a strength, but I just didn't know it yet. I uncomfortably forced myself to fit in and find a clique that defined me. There was none, nowhere in sight. Maybe I could be that hero for the lone wolves who never fitted in, as all heroes are made when you make a choice. The next song is This Masquerade by George Benson. In my journey of making friends, I thought I was finally getting the hang of this making friends thing. I remember to be myself, keep my circle small, and vow trust above all else. I hanged out with the boys, but that didn't feel right. I tried the girls, and neither did that. Boys are expected to be emotionless robots that lead and play sports and care little about their appearance. But vulnerability is strength in my eyes. The willingness to break down in front of people requires courage. Being often poetic, passionate, and sensitive was uncommon for boys like me, and nor did I gossip or socialize heavily like the girls. Jocks, preps, nerds, and even the losers, they didn't resonate with me. Every clique was so developed and refined. I told my mom this constantly. My cousin said, "You're just more mature than the other kids, and college would be an amazing fit for you." I hope so, I thought in my head. But deep under all these people, it was a pattern. I felt a speck of inauthenticity in the friends I made, and I pondered, are we really happy here with this lonely game we play? That was the lyric. Because we think we have friends, but we're actually alone in our thoughts and who we truly are. Who we truly are. I even succumbed to this and became something I'm not to make friends, or was scared that who I was wasn't enough. Then at that moment, I just realized we're lost in a masquerade. That was one of the lyrics. Next song is Who You Are by I forgot her name, but this is the Jillian Jensen cover. I thought wearing a mask was acceptable, so I conformed with everyone else. I was a whole different person to make others happy, despite my insides feeling wretched. I negated my eccentric quirks that made up me, and avoided being so sensitive like I often am. But my mind told me, why am I doing this to myself? One of the lyrics. Every time I screwed up or faltered, I would beat myself up on a tiny error. One of the lyrics. Was I acting too weird? Was I too quiet or talkative? Was I coming off as fake? Was I showing emotion? Did I fit in? And everything else in between. I finally decided to break through living my life in a lie. And the most beautiful thing about me was just be true to who you are. That was one of the lyrics. Last song is Jesus, Children of America by Stevie Wonder. Instead of searching for friends, I let the friends find me. I finally started to realize my lot in life and what I'm here for. I don't fit in, and that's okay. I can build an army of people who feel like outcasts just like me. If we get judged or stared at, we can all be weird together. I'm not here to impress or be noticed or even be talked about. I'm just here to be myself and do good for people as best I can. I was finally in a peace of mind. I don't tell lies in how I act, as eventually it's going to come to pass. Peace of mind was the lyric. Don't tell lies is the lyric. It's going to come to pass is the lyric. And it's going to come to pass into something pivotal. Not everyone I thought were perfect had this perfect life, and have been through hardships probably worse than mine. Your story, one of the lyrics, can either make or break you. And I had to tell myself that struggles happen for a reason, to make us stronger and wiser and encourage us for the future. I'm a lone wolf, and I'm here to build my pack. Yes, that was my soundtrack, and that is my song cover. But that really, really hit home. Like, when I wrote that, I put my heart into it. I put my soul into it, because I feel like when you go through stuff and you talk about it or you write about it, you put your heart into it because you've been there, you've lived it, and you've endured it. And to this day, I still struggle with who I am. I'm like, sometimes I just wish I was like everybody else. Sometimes I just wish I would just fit freaking in. But often those outcasts, those weirdos, those freaky people are the ones who become these big, successful people, these overnight sensations. And I shouldn't be afraid to be who I am. Even if I don't fit in now, I'm gonna fit in somewhere. I'm gonna find a group, and I've been making friends. I only have 2 people right now, but they're my all right now. They're weird just like me, and when we get looked at or judged or stared at or laughed at, we just be weird together. And that's what it's all about. It's about having that group of people that you resonate with. It's not about how big it is or how cool you look or how awesome you feel. Like, it's just about the trust and the love and the togetherness. It's not about what anyone thinks. It's just about what you guys feel about each other. But as I started to be more comfortable with who I am, find my place in this world, I found content. I found Twitch, I found YouTube, I found podcasts, I found all these platforms, and it was incredible. Like I met people that I was like, dang, like I finally found people that I can relate to. I finally found people that this is my home, like this is my space, this is my place where I can talk about what I'm going through and break down in front of people and just share what I've been through without being afraid of judgment. And sometimes when you're a blogger, it's not about finding that educational, it's not about being educational, it's not about being funny, it's just about being relatable. Like someone just reads your story, knows who you're about, and they're like, that's me on the other side. That's what I've been through. Like I relate. And I'm gonna give a shout out to this really special streamer. He's a very small streamer, but I feel like he's my twin. Like I feel like he's an older version of me, basically, because his name is Sir Lancelot. He's from Cape Town. He's a brother. And we were talking, I got to know him, and he told me everything that he's been through. He said that he's not your typical man. He's not your typical male. He said he didn't fit in with the guys. He wasn't into like football and drinking and not dressing up and all that. He was different. And I was like, that's me too. And he talked about how he had fear of success. Is that even something that you never thought existed? It exists. Like he has fear of success. That basically means you're scared of the wealth and the goodness and the fame that's going to be brought to you. You're scared of what new life am I going to have to go through. And he talked about how he never fitted in. He was very different, and he's been through stuff. His family was basically all the same, but he just didn't click with the rest of his family. And the stuff he wanted to do, his family didn't really support him. And he started telling me like how, yes, he's weird. Yes, he's eccentric, but he made friends that were different like him and eccentric. And he said, if we get laughed at or we get judged, like we just be weird together. Like we find those outcasts, we find those weirdos at school and in the workplace, all of them that feel left out, and we just make a group together. We make a friendship together. And I broke. Like when I watched his stream, I broke, and I was like, this is the person that I can talk to. This is the person I can relate to. Like he's so relatable. Like every single word he said hit me. It hit me so freaking hard. But that's what it's about. Like if you feel different, if you feel like an outcast, don't shut it down. Like find people that are just like you and make a group, make a friendship, make a family. And to this day, like, yes, I'm an outcast. Yes, I don't have that many friends, but content changed my life. Like content saved me from one of the hardest stuff. It saved me from some really, really dark times of anxiety, depression, thoughts of self-harm, thoughts of suicide, thoughts of just ending it all. And luckily I didn't get to that point, but I was thinking about that every second. I was bullied for who I was. I was often the target, because when you're bullied, people see you as vulnerable. They see fear. If they see fear or they see some like fault in you, they see something different, they're gonna strike. They're gonna attack you. But I paid these people no mind. I ignored them, and they stopped. They got bored of me. They just want a reaction out of you. That's what it's about. They want you to flip out. They want you to look like the bad person. And I didn't give them that satisfaction, and they stopped. But yep, I didn't fit in with the boys. Like most of the boys in my grade, like I'm just like, I don't belong here. Like I don't click with them. And same to the other spectrum, the other gender, I don't fit. And content has been a really great place where I learned to be myself. I learned to just be me and not be afraid of judgment, and it's great. It's freaking awesome. And yeah, I just want to let you know that if you're an outcast, if you're different, like, I'm here for you. Like, this place is here for you if you feel different, if you feel like an outcast. And you know, don't be afraid. Don't shun who you are. Like, embrace who you are. This is that's my slogan. Like, find your place in the writing space. Find who you are. Embrace who you are, and evoke that into your blog. Evoke that into your content. And how I met him is I was watching a stream from my girl Ashley Christ, and I was checking through the chat. I was just talking, getting on my soapbox as usual, and one of them, Sir Lancelot, was talking to me about some stuff, and I said, "Hey, like, how are you?" And then he said, "Where are you from?" And I said, "I'm from Cape Town, South Africa." And I was like, "Dang!" I was like, "I had a brother," and I was like, "I should check out your stream sometime." And I said, "Yeah, I'd love to." And then the first time he streamed, I was like, "He's here," and I loved his vibe. I loved everything about him. I loved who he was. He was so laid back, chill. He wasn't too serious. And his goal was to be a teacher. He wanted to be a teacher, teach kids. He loved the way kids reacted. Like, changing the mind of a kid was so intriguing to him. And he said his big mission, his vision, was to kind of build technology around teaching, make teaching fun, and based it on like games and video games and just having fun, basically make learning fun. And I was like, I love his mission. I love his vibe. And as I got to know him more, like, he started talking about his life, about how he was, his dad was like really, really hard on him and, kind of mean to him, and his mom was his only like person that he could talk to, and he was just really different. He was an outcast, and he said, I relate. I definitely, you're not alone. Like, I feel everything you were saying, how you feel different, how you have different viewpoints, and you want to do something different with your life. And he said how, like, even like how you don't want to go to college. Like, it's your life. Like, this is your life. No one can take that away from you. Like, if you don't want to go to college, if you want to do content full time, that's your choice. Like, that's up to you. Like, don't do something that you're gonna regret. Don't live your life in a lie. Don't do something that you're not passionate about. And everything he said just it stabbed me. Like, I felt like I had someone there for me when I didn't have nobody, and it was amazing. It was great. And I just kept coming back to the stream. Sadly, he did kind of like take a break from streaming. I think he's like at college. I think he's working. He's really busy. But when he starts streaming again, like, I'm gonna watch him. I'm gonna watch that dude, because like, he's right now like my number 2 streamer right now, because I just relate to him. Like, that's what it really comes down to sometimes. Just finding that person you relate to, finding that person who their stories just, you feel like they're your copy, like they're your twin. But he's like my twin, but like older, and it's great. Definitely what I learned, like, if you want to like someone, if you want to have someone believe in you, you have to do that to yourself first. Like, if you love people first, then love yourself after, you're gonna be a different person to make people happy. You're gonna be another person so that people accept you, and that is not okay. That is not right. Be yourself, and the people will find you. Like, don't try so hard to find them, that they find you. And that's what I started to learn. Like, the friends find you, the group finds you, the clique finds you. And when I was talking to Sir Lancelot, he talked about how, like, it's okay if you're weird, it's okay if you're different, because those weirdos tend to be the big people. They tend to do big things, and they tend to really impact people. And I'm like, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about it that way. But it just hit. It was great. It was freaking great. Like, I found someone I could relate to. Like, don't you love that feeling where you find a creator or a person that everything about them just, it resonates with you? Like, I want to be that person. Like, I want to be that creator. Like, as long as I relate to at least one person, like, I'm happy. Like, I'm happy with that, because being relatable, like, goes so much further than being educational and giving value, because people at the end of the day want to build relationships. People want to get to know you. People want to feel like there's someone on the other side that cares about them. That's what you need to push forward. And another thing I really always realized is, like, in my class, I always realized, like, I was always, like, the most spiritual, like, almost the most mature out of my class. Like, out of my class, like, every class, like, these people just had viewpoints that I was just like, I don't know why you see stuff in that light. Why do you see stuff in that point of view? Like, the way I see things is very different than how people my age see things. And I think it's because I've kind of lived a little bit. I've kind of had my fair share of going through things, and that's the number one way to really have a lesson and to grow and to be shaped, is to go through crap and to struggle. That's something I want to tell you. If you're different and eccentric to the point where people are bullying you, gossiping about you, jumping in your face, doing things you don't want them you to do, calling you out your character, you have to shut it down. Ignore them, pay them no mind. But you can do that a few times, but if it gets out of hand to the point where they're hurting you and getting on your face, tell somebody. Tell somebody, get it cleared up. But you have to show them that you're not someone that they're gonna play with. They're not someone they're gonna mess with. You need to show them who the bigger person is. Don't show fear. Don't show any type of weakness, because when people see some type of weakness, some type of fear, they're gonna pinpoint it, and they're gonna target you. And I learned this from personal experience. I was really soft growing up. I was really, easily taken advantage of, and I would get pounded. I would get pounded. And you need to make sure you don't let that happen. Don't become a punching bag. You need to make sure you're the one taking control of the situation. But yeah, like, every time people were bullying me, my goal was to just duck them, stay out their way. And I did good. Like, it worked a few times, but sometimes they would come at me. I remember today, like, I saw those people that call me names, call me the N-word, and they stopped now because they realized I'm not paying them no attention. But I remember I saw them and I went to class and like, bro, where are you going? Where are you going? And I was like, yeah. I stayed away. I didn't say anything. But that's what it is. Like, they want to call you out your character. Like, they want a reaction out of you. They want you to go crazy and do something that you don't want to do. And I'm not recommending you to fight. I'm not recommending you to jump on someone. You just need to take up for yourself in some type of way, whether that's telling somebody, showing who the bigger person is. But you need to take this seriously. And I always realized, like, out of the class, like, out of all of the black people, I was almost always the darkest one. Like, very dark skin, a lot of melanin on my freaking skin. And yeah, I would be called out for that. I would be talked about. And I remember, like, even my teachers at some point, like, they started calling me out. My medical teacher would call me out. That story. And it was hard. Like, it was hard for me to be who I was. I wasn't proud of who I was. I wasn't proud of how I looked, how I spoke, everything about me. I just loathed it. And it took time to develop this confidence. It took time to accept who I am, because confidence, in my opinion, is a skill. Like, I don't believe you're born confident. I don't believe you're born with this confidence in you. It's a skill, and you have to work on it. You have to grow. You have to practice. And yeah, you don't just become confident overnight. That's just not how I see it. It's a skill, and you have to develop it. Lunch was one of the worst times of my life. Like, every time I would be on lunch, I would feel so odd. I would feel like such an oddball. Like, I would try to think of a plan in my head, like, sit with some table, sit with anyone. I don't care who. I don't care if it's the girls. I don't care. I would sit anywhere. It would just be insane. Like, I remember those people would like blurt out comments when I walked by, and it was it was bad. It was so freaking bad. But I was just like, every time I finished my lunch, like I would duck them. Like I would walk away. I would run off, and I'll just go hide, and then wait for class to freaking be wait for the rest to go to the next class. But that was life. That was what I went through, and it's crazy how like any little thing that makes you different, people will pinpoint on it. People will find something negative about someone different about someone, and they will clobber you. They will eat you alive, and you need to watch out for that. And then I finally decided to just stop, keeping this quiet. And I told my parents about it. And my dad said, he was like, well, of course you're being picked out because you're always freaking alone. Like, what do you expect? And I was like, I don't fit in with those people. I don't fit in anywhere. And they said, well, you're going to have to find a group, find someone, find anything, anyone. And then my brother said, like, you need to, like, stick up for yourself. Like, you need to stand up for yourself. And I'm like, I'm not that person. I don't want to give them that satisfaction. I know they want me to go crazy. I know they want me to go at them. And they said, if you're not going to do something about it, I will. And I was like, ugh. And then my mom was like, you need to find some group. You need to find anyone, anything. And then I try to come up with an excuse saying maybe it's just because I'm older than the other kids. Like, because I did go to school late, so I'm slightly older than everybody else. And my mom was like, you know why that's wrong? You know why you're not even close to right? Because you got friends that are in freaking 9th grade. So I don't think that's the problem. I don't think that's the issue. And I was like, then what is it? And I said, you just have to just make friends. You're gonna have to just go in there and just find people. And I was just like, ugh. And they said, even if you don't agree with them, even if they aren't your perfect people, just get to know them. Find people similar to you at least, and just get to know them. And I was just like, all of them, like nearly 75% of them, like they were just negative, yapping, crazy, wacko dacko, hacko, insane. And it was hard. Like, it was really hard. And they said, like, if you keep being this, putting yourself in a box, being an outcast, putting yourself alone, being alone, people are going to hammer you. People are going to destroy you. And my dad said the reason why they are bullies because they see you as vulnerable. They see fear. They see some type of weakness. And when they see weakness, they're going to strike you. They know what they'd say bothers you. They know it hurts you. So they're going to keep pounding. They're going to keep on going at you until you do something about it, whether it's report it, whether it's go crazy. And then I remember my mom said, like, don't report it. People out here are crazy. People shoot. People these days are just crazy. Don't even report it. Just ignore them. Just avoid them. And yeah, I ducked them. And luckily they stopped, but they're gonna find the next victim who's willing to go crazy and willing to stir up some tea, stir up some drama. And I know they just wanted a reaction out of me. That's all they wanted, and I didn't give that to them. Unlike me, my brother fit in like a glove. Oh my goodness. Like, he fits in. Like, he finds a group, he's social, he's outgoing, and he just talks. And I'm just like, I don't know how people do it. Like, I can't do it. But yeah, that's just never who I was. And what I gotta realize is these people are just human, just like me. And it's the way they target me. It's like a pack of people. Like, I bet you, like, if one of them came up to me one-on-one, they would not even dare to say anything to me, because it's a cowardly tactic. Like, they have to, like, I remember I saw them, like, all of them started ganging up on each other saying, say it. And I remember he asked me this question, and I was just like, I'm not. And it's a cowardly tactic. Like, they have to gang up on each other for them to do stuff. And it's just like, they're human, just like I am. And they have fears. They're cowards. Like, bullies, at the end of the day, you gotta realize they're cowards. And if you know how to target the leader, like, the other people are just gonna trickle down and freaking leave you alone. And that's why those groups look so powerful. It's because the leaders use those people behind them to look even stronger. That's it. But yeah, that's the story. I hope it was valuable to you. Hopefully I inspired you. Hopefully you got to know me a little bit more, kind of what I've been through. And yeah, I just want to let you know, like, it's okay to be different. It's okay to be an outcast. And this space is here for all those outcast bloggers who felt different. And yeah, if you're new here, if you don't know who I am Lucci and I'm. I create content for bloggers to help them find their place in the writing space. I do tips, tricks, I do story times on the side sometimes, and this space is for you if you want to be a blogger. I got the podcast as well. This is for you. And yeah, thank you so much for stopping by. I really love you. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Our goal is to hit 100 subs so we can change that dang URL. And share this. I'm not saying, like, comment, subscribe. I'm not saying all that. But share this to someone you know that felt for their whole life that they were an outcast. They felt different. They felt that no one understood them, and that people told them, sorry, just be normal, just fit in. What does that even mean? Being different is one of the biggest blessings God could give to you, because those people generally change the world. So share this to someone. And yeah, this story time's gonna be here whenever you feel down, you feel like you just need a push. And yeah, I love you guys, and thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one. This is another reason why I'm an outcast, because no one can do the puffball. Okay.
What's gonna happen is you'll watch my area die again.